ever noticed your friend's coffee always tastes better than yours? Your friend's meal tastes always better? The queue you're standing at is always longer, and the other next to you just skipping very fast. And the politicians of other countries always seem to be more fair, less corrupt, more law-abiding citizens. That's the problem we all face. Is grass really greener on the other side? We all think that somewhere life is better, you have more success, you are more happy. Dear Toastmasters, dear guests, Madam Toastmaster, Miss President, thank you for coming today, and I'm really excited to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about, which is migration. And here tonight, I would like to break some stereotypes that you might have about migration. And I can see Max already looking at me, being a migrant himself. And what gives me qualification to do so? I'll give you a bit of background about myself. As Christina has already mentioned, I lived in New Zealand for 9 years of my life, so I have gained migration experience there. I have also lived short-term in Australia, in Germany, in Spain, and in Thailand. So all those experiences combined give me a bit of expertise, so to say, to judge on the reality of migration. So let's start with the basics. Why do people migrate in the first place? Migration is a very complex topic, but I like to keep things simple and to concentrate on the most important parts, like a bikini style. You cover only the most important parts. You got a point? So my view on migration, why people migrate, is only two reasons. Very simple: money or love. Do people think? Let's just talk about it more. So money, why people migrate for money? Money in a way of improving life standards. It's lifestyle, being able to acquire more things. Number two, it will be also children's education, to get a better education for kids. Parents sacrifice everything that they might have a better position in Russia, for example, or in China. They move, say, to Australia to get a better opportunity with the kids, while being taxi drivers or cleaners, while they were academics, for example, in China. Number two reason will be work. When you move from India to Australia, when you have a branch of Goldman Sachs, for example. And number three is for study. Once again, goes back to money. You want to get a better education, you want to earn more money, and so on. And number two is, the second reason is love. Love as a foreign partner, foreign wife or husband. You move your country for them. And love in the way of family. You unite with your family. So, for example, parents unite with their kids in England. And number three will be, for example, Maya. She loves US. She's very excited about US. So it's love towards a particular country that you admire, that you like the lifestyle. Or Christina, who likes Argentina. So she's very excited about this country, which does not exactly mean that she will move there, but she likes the lifestyle. Or I love Brazil, the culture, dance, people, and festivals. Those are the main two reasons for that. And please don't confuse the way life goes, because there's a vast difference between being a migrant and being a refugee. Refugees are not migrants. Refugees leave the country not for economic reasons. They run for life, literally. What is happening now in Europe is people who live for life, because if they stay in the country, they're more likely to be killed. So it's a different type of migration. So, what countries do people migrate to? Number first country is US. 1 out of 5 citizens in the US, or people living in the US, are born overseas, which is makes up to 46 million. 46 million out of 350, I believe. Russia, number 2 in the world with migrants, makes up to 11 million people living in Russian migrants. They're not born in Russia. Germany, then Saudi Arabia, then United Arab Emirates, which makes up to 85% of people living in United Arab Emirates are migrants, which is quite astonishing number, UK, France, and Canada. So in the light of recent events, we really got to prove that life is not perfect anywhere. It's not safe anywhere. We can see that Europe is not safe anymore. Paris is not safe anymore. Anywhere is not safe. So you can't really think that, well, it's a bit of crime in Moscow, we move somewhere else. Nowhere is safe. Sydney had terrorist attack. Everything is in this tragic moment. Terrorism, life inequality, discrimination, racism, unhappiness are found anywhere in the smallest corner in the world, from Norway to Japan, to New Zealand to Jamaica. Maybe not Jamaica, they have other ways to keep the town healthy. Despite the differences, I like to say that there are four migration traditions that people adopt despite their cultural differences, despite the nationality, despite the religion. The first one will be when they move to the country, they experience all those four stages, and without those four stages, you wouldn't be in the country. So the first one will be honeymoon. So what is honeymoon? You are in love. You're so excited, you're so happy, flowers and happiness. You see only positive things about the country. You are really excited about interesting food in Asia, for example. You are very excited about friendly people in the US. You are very excited about crowds in the country. Euphoria moment. The second stage is rejection or confrontation stage. It's where you see only negative aspects of the country. Suddenly you hate Asian food. You just cannot stand it at all. All those happy people and those happy smiles are just annoying. They seem fake. You really start to miss your country. You feel depressed. The third stage is adjustment stage. You either move back to your country because you hate the country you live in, or you go, or you start to adapt. That's where the culture shock takes place. That's where you need to adapt to yourself and you move to the country and you really need to change your perspective, change your mindset. And the fourth stage will be feeling like you're at home, feeling like you belong here. And the fifth will be re-entry. You go back to your country and you experience a new country, a new culture shock. So being an experienced globetrotter, I would say that nowhere is perfect, and a lot of people have this experience of the main problem is that people think that if they move somewhere, they'll be happier, they'll have better opportunity, they have a better lifestyle, which is not true. If you're not happy with yourself in your own country, in your home country, you'll never be happy somewhere else. No, you won't find better friends. No, you won't find a better husband or wife. You won't find better job opportunity. Because if you're unhappy here, you need to start from here. You need to fix yourself first. So, as a recap, I like to say, would you trade happiness of living somewhere warm for happiness of having your kids grow up with your grandma? Or would you trade your close circle of friends for a nice beach next to your house? Or would you just consider the points and move to the country? But the main thing that you need to consider all those points before you move, because grass is always green on the other side. Somewhere different is always better, but bear in mind that you need to fix yourself first and you need to realize all the sacrifice that you make before you go somewhere else. Thank you very much.